Hi, this is Texan in the UK's husband. A little while back, the Solo Hiker asked whether or not there was any information on building this small spirit stove that I was testing at the time. Well, the answer is yes, and I thought today I would show you where I source my component parts for various spirit stoves. And these are always work in progress. I'm just trying out ideas, trying to make a really small lightweight stove or a higher capacity stove, depending on what I use it for. Now, this little pile in front of you might look a mess, but I'll run through the component parts. It's a perforated metal tube, which is quite heavy. Was parts of a fuel filter, which I scrounged from the farm rubbish bin. It was a tractor fuel filter. This was an end cap from the same thing. This is a tin can which had tuna in it. This is the back end of a speaker. Any speaker would do. That is a El Taquito tin lid. Okay, I'm just going to say tin lid. Those are the broken pieces of the magnet, which I had to smash up to get that off. But in future I'm going to look at how I can remove that rather useful looking circular magnet all in one piece. And this piece here is the opposite end plate to this little beast, which might all come in useful shortly. And I'll just show you what one of these filters looks like when it's more intact. As you can see, this is a filter that I've cut the end off. They look more like this, or should I say, they look more like that. But as with all these things, it's just finding something that will suit. Now, you won't be able to see this particularly well in the video, I don't think, but that's the fuel filter when I've chopped a lump off with a hacksaw. Now, I found an easy way of doing it, which is basically add a small bonfire, set through one of these filters on it, and then out of that picked up the pieces that I needed and just then cleaned them up with a bit of steel wool. What I did find, which was an amazing find, was the filter is all held together with this really high quality fine steel mesh. Now this mesh gets white hot and still really shows no sign of damage, so I'm going to actually use some of this at a later stage in production. So what I'm aiming to do here is produce a burner of that kind of size, which is for me a very high capacity burner, and hopefully be able to create a little platform lid from the piece of speaker as a separate entity, and at the same time also show you how to make a small one, a small spirit burner, which when it all clips together is really no bigger than the depth of a small tin lid from a jar. The reason we kept this is because it serves a few purposes which will become apparent, and this horrid lump of very nasty sharp magnetic material from the speaker, we're just keeping that here because I'm just going to play with some pieces of that and see whether or not I can make some kind of a lightweight but magnetic method of holding that on in place, because I'm rather hoping that I can use this as a wind guard, I can use it cover so I can stand my pots on it. But I need to be able to attach the two together easily. And just resting it on the top won't do it for me. It's got to have some method of being fairly stable. I don't want to lose my hard-earned little meal that I'm cooking just before I'm about to eat it, because it gets knocked over. So we're talking about something that's going to be less than 4.5, 5 inches high, with its pot stand on it, and only 2.5 inches tall max when it's packed away. Okay, so there's the component parts I'm using. Basically, it's a tin can, a bit of a speaker, and most of the metal components from an industrial style fuel filter. I say it's a fuel filter, I'm assuming it's a fuel filter. It could be a hydraulic oil filter, it could be whatever. But if you've got any industrial places in and around your area, have a look round. It's a tricky one. You know, I'm fortunate that I spotted this filter and it just happened to be the right kind of size to do what I want to do. So I've gone up and scrounged a few others from the same spot. But just keep your eyes open. It's a question more of finding something to do the job. So I'm constantly looking. Other people's junk and rubbish can be made into something else that's really good. Okay, speak to you shortly, bye. Okay, so what we've done now is cut a length of this inner section of filter, and slightly burred over some of the edges using a pair of pliers, and just twisted them over slightly to afford a better grip when it's pressed down onto this section. Hear it click, it's on there fairly securely. The reason we need it on there fairly securely will become more apparent in a minute, but that's where we are. Drilled 4 holes in the top. Conveniently, these come kind of marked with quadrants on them, so it's reasonably easy to get them kind of accurate. The accuracy of the holes is not actually that important to the burn efficiency. These holes are about 5-6 mil. Yeah, I would say about 5 or 6 mil. Now that allows this to drop down over there like so, and sit neatly also at the same time on that rim. Just. Now, what we need to do now is pack out this area here with wadding. Now I use old industrial wipes. I use these cotton discs, which are inexpensive and readily available. And I'm just going to put the camera down for a second and start packing this one out. Right, so as you can see, I'm starting to fill it with some wadding, which will